Hello, soundies of Big Sky Fellowship. So I just made some changes and I wanted to run through them with y'all. The Mac audio is now in the aux section. There are the Mac left and right sliders. Okay, so if I am on the mains and that's all the way turned down, and I come over here and I were to play a video, or oops. Okay, so we've got video playing, no audio coming. I So that works. And it also works for the stream. So there's also the Mac audio on the stream. And there is no longer an echo coming. So if I pause the music, okay, and then if I grab the mic, and if I start talking into the mic, we can see that it is picking up my voice on the handheld mic because I'm holding the handheld mic while talking. And I can turn that up on the mains and hope, I don't know if this is coming through on the video, but it's much louder. But nothing is coming on that Mac channel. Part of the reason we were having issues is because we were sending the audio out the external headphone into this black box that used to be sitting here and then into the back of the soundboard. But since we have this USB here that plugs into the back of the Mac, that was unnecessary. So the way we're routing the audio now is the way they recommend to do it. And hopefully this serves if something ever goes wrong. Hopefully you never have to mess with this stuff. But this should just be listen on main. This is an inspector, which basically means it does nothing. XUSB. So the audio tab is out. So we want to send audio that we play natively on ProPresenter out to XUSB. We want to route that, and I labeled these out to X32, left and right. So we want to route that out to the X32 on channels 1 and 2. Then for our inputs, because we need to get the audio from the XUSB, but we don't want to create a feedback loop of sending out to the soundboard, back to the Mac, send that back, and that creates those feedback loops. We don't want that. So our inputs on our X32 are channels 1 and 2. That's different. It used to be 10 and 11. It's now just channels 1 and 2. And we won't want to bring in channels 3 and 4 from the we're mapping channels. Sorry, we're mapping channels 1 and 2 on the XUSB. So from the X32 to ProPresenter channels 3 and 4. So then we're not sending audio to channels 3 and 4. If you send this to 3 and 4, that will create that feedback loop that we don't want. And then in our Resi capture settings, if we look at the audio routing, we want to send 3 and 4 because that's what's coming back from the soundboard. So that's how that works. And then so we've got that covered. The Mac slider is now over in the aux section. It's the first two aux. And the other change that I did was to monitor the audio. The stream buses 9 and 10 are also, obviously that's what we're sending, those two stream buses to ProPresenter. That's the channel 1 and 2 on ProPresenter. But we're also sending that out auxiliary outputs And those cables run all the way over there. They come around the corner here to these two DI boxes. So one's for the left and one's for the right. And then there's that, there's those XLR cables which go down. And they pop back up over here into a combined signal into this amp that we used to use for the drummer, but we haven't used this thing for an in-ear monitor for a long time, so I didn't think anybody would miss it. Hopefully that's still the case, but you've got a volume knob here and a pan knob here. You can set it to mono if you want, and then they're both going to be the same thing, but I mean, we're getting a stereo input because we've got the left and the right. So it's on stereo, and I just have a even pan, and that seems to be about even on the headphones. So I tested all of this with the live stream, with monitoring, with the FOH, front of house speakers, the in-house speakers. Everything works, both when we're playing audio from ProPresenter, and I used the handheld mic to test other things from the soundboard. And then I'll also test instruments and things on the stage just to make sure all of that works well in-house and for the live stream monitor. And I set up a Resi YouTube to make sure it works on Facebook and YouTube. So I think that's about everything that I changed. Hopefully this was informative. Thanks. One last thing I forgot to mention is that this mono and stereo, but on the back side of here, there is a power. So if this is ever not working, if the headphones aren't working, that would be one possible source to debug, is that power on the back. And it's probably not a bad idea to go ahead and turn that off, and you can see the power light turned off there. So not a bad idea to turn that off, and but when you go to start up, the power button on the back will turn this thing on so that these headphones work. And then this switch is still operating the same way. So one is going to be this, which is the and the video, hopefully it lines up pretty well. I didn't actually test that, but we could look at delaying the audio or delaying the video a little bit if they don't line up very well. Thanks.